So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. For all those who don't know me, my name is, I'm going to sit back here. So, my name is Rebecca Precious, and tonight we're going to start exploring the wonderful world of essential oils. So, I have been using Young Living for a very long time. I started in 2002. So, yeah, very, very, very long time. And let me just there we are. So thank you, everyone. So I started using essential oils in 2002, and I used them in my horse, who had was very sick, and so we used them to support his immune system and bring him through some very, very difficult health challenges, of which he pulled through. And well, quite a few years later, he is happy as the day can be, fat as the day can be, and still costing me a lot of money. So before we start, I just need to read the mandatory disclaimer. So this information contained in this presentation tonight is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. This information represents what I, an independent distributor of Young Living essential oils, has chosen to do to take charge of my own personal health and that of my family. Statements on this website have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Products in this presentation are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure, or prevent any diseases. If you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication, or have any medical conditions, please consult your physician before using these products. So let's get cracking. All right. So essentially, this is going to be a very, very basic 101 course. We're just going to go over kind of what essential oils are. I'll touch on some of them. We have an essential oils 102 class scheduled in 2 weeks, and I will check that date, and we'll have a lot more information then. But let's go start on the basics. So what exactly is an essential oil? So essential oils come from plants, and they are distilled from roots, seeds, bark, stems, flowers, rinds. And when we think about what a plant does, we have a plant just behind me there, and a plant's job is designed to reproduce. It's designed to keep bugs away. It's designed to protect itself. And if we can distill that plant distill the plant and keep those properties intact, then that essential oil, which is what helps protect that plant, will do the same for us. So when we use an essential oil on us, an essential oil can support many areas of our body, such as like our skeletal system. It can support our muscular system. It can support circulatory system, our endocrine system, our immune system, our hormones, our emotions, our weight gain, our stress. I mean, there really is, essential oil can do an awful lot of stuff. Another thing that we can start using essential oils to do is to start eliminating toxins in our home and in our everyday life, which is a real kind of passion of mine. And a lot of people started this journey because they want to feel healthy. They're tired of feeling sluggish. And that's one of the things we have to do, is get all the crap out of our lives. And essential oils will help us do that. So by doing some simple things from today onwards, you can start making changes in your household and eliminating toxins and start living like a pure lifestyle. And it doesn't have to break the bank. So essential oils, they're very, very versatile. And there really isn't too much an essential oil cannot do. And at some point in the very near future, if you're not already saying this by now, you'll start saying, we have an essential oil for that. That's when you know you're becoming a seasoned oiler. So a lot of us start out with the premium starter kit, and the premium starter kit arrives and we get it in the post and we're super excited and we open it up and we're like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Yeah. You're like, what do I do now? So then you go through and you think, okay, well, the book says I need to do 2 drops. And then you do, that comes out and you get your little dropper and you get your oil and you drop it out. And then it's like, oh no, my God, I've done 3 drops. Oh my gosh, does that mean I'm going to die? Do I need to go to ER? And then quite often we'll get like these frantic phone calls, like, what's going to happen? Well, I'm here to help you on that journey and to let you know that nothing's going to happen. So you'll be okay. And I'm using the oil to rub on my belly because those who don't know or be friends with me on Facebook know I've been dealing with food poisoning all week. So this is why this call is going to be pretty short, because it's not been pretty, trust me. So why Young Living? Young Living is, we're kind of the old kids on the block. We've been around for 20 plus years. There isn't an essential oil company that of our size that's out there that has been around for that long. I mean, there's certainly some good oil companies, but you'll find those on the continent in Europe. And there is nothing else that compares to us within the US. The founder of the company, D. Gary Young, he's actually recognized around the world as a master distiller when it comes to essential oils. And he's actually considered one of the most world forefront authorities on essential oils, and outside of Young Living is on a lot of like essential oil panels. And that's really one thing that sets Young Living apart from any other company that's out there, is with his knowledge. He's often in the Amazon, he's in Nepal. He's constantly finding the company new essential oils that we can use every single day. We have oils that no other company has. The other thing that sets Young Living apart is something that we call our Sea to Seal promise. And that's something that's very, very important. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that. And our Sea to Seal promise, it's not just a sales slogan. It's something that's the value of the company. And that means that you get the very, very best oils. Now, if you turn to your product guide and on page 9, you actually start seeing, we list all our farms that are on there. And why is that so important? Because, hey, you know what? We all have farms, right? A lot of us are horse people. But the reason why it's so important is because these farms are the farms that Young Living own. And these farms are farms that we have determined that we can grow our oils from. So a lot of people will ask, are your oils organic? And no, we're not organic. Because organic means that the land's only been cleared for 3 years. And for us, that's not acceptable. We actually make sure that our land has never, ever had a chemical on it. It has to be virgin land. We'll even make sure that they do soil analysis. They'll even do wind analysis to make sure no chemicals can come to the farm from other farms. They test the water. We have control of the seeds. So the standards are very, very strict. And we actually adhere to something called wildcrafted. And wildcrafted essentially means there has never, ever been a chemical on your land. So organic to us, that just isn't acceptable. So one thing to know when we're talking about this is we wholeheartedly rely on Mother Nature. And a lot of times when you're getting into Young Living, you will see we have products that are out of stock. And it can be frustrating. But we 100% rely on Mother Nature. Because we rely on Mother Nature, and Mother Nature doesn't necessarily like to cooperate with us, or she works on her own schedule, then that is why we will have products that are stocked, because we just may not get the harvest that is of the therapeutic level that we need it to be for our oils, or might not be in the quantity. So for the company, rather than concentrate on their profit margin, they will actually rather have a product that's out of stock and deal with the ramifications of some frustrated distributors. Then they will have to for their integrity. So rather than the profit margin, and for that I all about Young Living. Another thing that it comes to what we call our Seed to Seal promise is the harvest. The harvest is very, very key. And that's one of the reasons why owning the farms is key, is because we actually have distillers around the world. So we can, as soon as we've cut the trees, the forest, whatever it is, we can distill them when it's of the appropriate timing. We actually call it cook. We cook the plant. And for us, when it comes to approximate harvest time, we have we set up mini distillers on site, have scientists on site that will test the plant every hour for several weeks. And from there, they will then determine at what point can they go in and harvest. So there is a whole science behind it. And a lot of the mum and pop oil companies just don't have those kind of resources that we do. Now, if you want to learn more about Seed to Seal, then go to seedtoseal.com and you can log on from there. And you'll see the whole website from Young Living that explains it in far more detail. Or you can actually go to the farms. Our farms are open to anyone, that you can go at any time. You're invited to go and ask any of the Young Living reps any of the information. In fact, I went there and I've never been so excited to have, we do our fertilizer by hand, and it was with organic chicken crap. And I've never been so excited to have organic chicken crap on my back in the snow, fertilizing the balsam fir trees. There's something warped, right? Anyway, so essential oils, kind of, how do they work? So an oil is made up basically of carbon, hydrogen, and sometimes oxygen. Each drop of oil has hundreds and hundreds of tiny constituents in it. So when we introduce that oil to the body recognizes it as a natural source, and it's like, you know, opens the door and says, oh, hey, come in. It's not like it's some kind of synthetic medicine where it doesn't know what to do with. Now, I have heard people talk about the oils are like nature's smart medicine, and they will kind of instinctively know where to go. No, that's not true. What the oil does is, when you put the oil on, because the molecules are so small, it gets into the bloodstream and very, very quickly. So if you put an oil within the bottom of your feet, within 22 minutes, the oil has managed to penetrate every cell within the body. So you put the oil on, it gets into the bloodstream, and it's like the body is pumping around the blood. And then from there, where there's areas of the body where it's got a weakened immune system or weakened whatever's going on, then the body will pull, and that's how the oil gets pulled. So sometimes we'll be working on A, and the body's actually working on B, and the B is more of an important issue for the body. And so we'll put the oil on thinking we're working on A. Nothing happens to A, but without us knowing it, B has actually been taken care of. I'm trying to be compliant when I give this course. That's why we're doing A's and B's rather than me giving out actual names to this kind of stuff. So that's kind of it in a really, really basic form. A couple of other things that an oil does is, when you introduce the oil to the body, it carries nutrients. So it carries nutrients to cells, and it feeds the cells. So anytime we're feeding cells with nutrients, we're feeding the cells with oxygen, it's always a good thing, because then we're producing healthy cells. An oil will work on detoxification, so that's a good thing. An oil will work on works on anything. If you think about what blood does for us, then that oil will do for the plant. Then essentially it will still do the same for us. The oils carry amino acids for us. They carry nutrients. They're all around. They're pretty impressive. In fact, I'll post a clip on the Potting Shed Facebook group. And if you're not a member, send me a Facebook request. And if you're part of our group, happily add you. And we have this really cool video of what blood looks like when you've introduced Valor to the feet. So I'll share that. It's pretty impressive. So kind of to cover a couple of caveats with oils. And this is where people freak out and they're like, am I going to do any damage? Oh my God, what if I do this? Am I going to send myself to ER? So a few things. One, an oil will not work if you leave it in the packet. If you leave it in the bottle, guaranteed will not work. If you take it out of the bottle, it will work. So don't be freaked out about it. I always tell people, just play. You know, this is us taking charge of our own body. We don't need to have someone telling us, you need to do A plus B plus, you know, this isn't like a doctor-patient situation. This is us being our own ambassadors. So play around with it. An oil, when you, the body metabolizes oils within about 2.5 hours. So if you're dealing with occasional pain, anything like that, then think 2.5 hours would be kind of the time that you would be using them. So with that being said, there are a few caveats that I always tell people. One, never drop an oil in the air. Why? It's going to get, because the eardrum has frequency, an oil has frequency, and if you know, the frequency is like, what's the difference between a dead cat and a live cat? Is life force, right? Energy. These oils have energy. So you don't want to put energy in energy. It's a bad combination. So if you're using oils in that area, just do a Q-tip and just rub it around, kind of, you see, around that area. Another thing is never put an oil in the eye. Trust me, it will sting. In fact, sting is probably not the word. You will use every swear word known to mankind. Just saying. But what I would do is I would drop the oil in my hand, and then I would kind of envision a panda and use that kind of the panda and trace that around the eye. And that's where you want to put the oil on the eye. Now, if you happen to get the oil closer to the eye and your eye becomes very sensitive and you're kind of doing that pirate eye look, then get a fatty base oil. And by that, I mean a coconut oil, jojoba oil, like an olive oil, whatever, and put that around. Don't use water. Water magnifies it. So water makes it so much more intense, which is a good thing sometimes, not near the eye. That's a bad thing. All right. Another thing, especially this time of year, and I've seen a few posts on Facebook, citrus oils. Don't use citrus oils, which would be considered like lemon, citrus fresh, orange, bergamot, in areas that get exposed to the sun. Citrus oils are photosynthesis, which means they react to sunlight, so you will burn. I think there was a post on Facebook about a yoga instructor had finished yoga and was using a tanning bed and did essential oils. No idea why the yoga instructor was using a tanning bed, not going to go there, but yeah, don't use essential oils. So just kind of think of where the sun doesn't shine. That would be like areas. So if you're going to do clothing, and speaking of where the sun doesn't shine, yeah, another good place not to be using oils. No. You're becoming an opera singer very, very quickly. So if you do want to use oils like in the bath or something, dilute them with Epsom salt. Just don't put them in neat. And when I'm saying neat, that means not being diluted by something. All right. So we can use oils in one of three ways, and that is aromatic, internal, and topical. Now, when you get started with Young Living, we give you a diffuser, and the reason why we give you a diffuser is because using a diffuser is one of the easiest ways to get essential oils in our system. When you smell an oil, within 1 second, that oil is in the brain, making some kind of shift, some kind of change. So when essential oils are inhaled through the nose, tiny nerves send intimate signals to the brain, and they go straight to work on the systems that moderate our minds and our bodies. So the fastest way to the mood center of our brain is through inhalation. And the mood center, which is the limbic system of the brain, which sits on top of like your olfactory, which is like your nose part, is directly connected to parts of the brain that control heart, blood pressure, stress, hormones, balance, etc. So essential oils actually have a really profound psychological and physiological effect. That's why the diffusing is so important to us. one of the things I see people say is, oh my gosh, I got this diffuser, I got it from Amazon, it was like $10. And it's like, okay, one, what's the quality of the plastic? Probably not very good. Essential oils will break down plastic because plastic is a toxin. You are now breathing that in. The whole ethos of what we do is to try and keep chemicals out of our lives. Now you're just bringing that in. Second thing why it's not so good is because a lot of the oil, you never want to have heat with essential oils. And a lot of those cheaper diffusers actually will have heat to them that controls the motor, and that destroys the chemical compounds of the oil, making it smell good, but making it do nothing else. And we've paid too much for oils. So don't do, not good. Next thing is topical. Essential oils can be absorbed through the skin, and the skin is the largest organ in the body. My go-to place, if I'm unsure about the oils, or if I'm not quite sure how my body is going to respond to the oil, is I use the bottom of my feet. And that's a really good place because the bottom of the feet has about 2,000 pores. So some of the largest pores in the body are actually on the bottom of the feet. And on top of that, your feet are connected to every system of your body. So you can put those oils on the feet, and within minutes, you are getting the oils to the heart, you're getting the oils to the lungs, to the kidneys, whatever. If you have a death reference guide, and you can get these from Life Size Publishing, I want to say they're like $30, $40. They're very reasonable. And they have a good chart in there, reflexology chart, and the different areas of the feet and where we can put our oils. So I recommend going to check that out. Now, the final place that we can use oils is internal. And that's where we get the kind of most eyebrow looks like, really? Because I read a lot of stuff on the internet that says, you can't do internal. Well, newsflash. If it's Young Living, yes, you can. And in fact, we've done one thing better than that. Within Young Living, we have a product line called Vitality Oils. And I forgot to bring them upstairs with me. But the Vitality Oils are, if you go through, you'll see a page that's listed Vitality Oils. I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone. We just got an Amber Alert. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Anyway, the Vitality Oils are oils that have been cleared by the FDA to actually be taken internally. And they have, there we are, page 30, page 28. So you'll see, in fact, they come in your premium starter kit and they have the white labels on them. And those oils have been cleared by the FDA, and they are considered safe to take internally. So if you have any reservations, know that we have taken the extra step for you. If you're still uncomfortable, again, this is your wellness journey. You do what you feel is most important to you. Well, not most important, what you feel most comfortable with. But if you are comfortable with taking them, then you can take them in water, or we can do them in like a little gel capsule like this. Ta-da! And you just put a couple of drops of oil in, take it, internal. So let's go through a couple of the oils that's in your starter kit. And I want to keep this to 9 o'clock, so it's going to be quick. I can open up to any questions that you have after that. But so you've got the kit, and the first oil that's in there is frankincense. If in doubt, use frankincense, is my suggestion. Frankincense is amazing at supporting the immune system. It's amazing for supporting the skin, fine lines, bags. It's very uplifting oil. It's good to be put at the back of the neck for when you're going to sleep. Helps with squirrel syndrome. The next one is RC. RC actually contains the 3 eucalyptuses, and I will do a post on the different eucalyptuses because I was asked that today. It's great for diffusing or rubbing on the chest in case you've got some breathing difficulties. Lavender is what we consider our Swiss Army knife of oils. Lavender is fantastic for any kind of skin issue. It is in the British pharmaceutical. Not many people know that. And they used it in World War I as a antibiotic, I do believe, but it's very much our relaxing oil, calming on the skin. If you've got any bruises, it helps support that. It helps support any kind of cuts, anything. Lavender is kind of the one to go to for that. The next one that I love is lemon. And one of the things I love so much about lemon is if you smell our lemon and then cut a lemon, they smell the same. Isn't that awesome? Yes, because that's how essential oils are supposed to be. It's so funny. I was with someone the other day and they're like, it smells like lemon. I'm like, well, yeah, why would it not smell like lemon? So lemon is fantastic at working on, it's high in antioxidants. It's working on our lymphatic system. So I like to put lemon there at nighttime, not at daytime, nighttime. It's working on detoxification, lymphatics. Oops, I wasn't being compliant when I said that. So it's good for putting a couple of drops in your water. A lot of people would take lemon water in the morning for supporting their pH. So when the lemon hits the stomach, it actually neutralizes. And most people think it actually will make it more acidic, but it will neutralize. But it's the lemon, you want it from the rind. It's not from the actual lemon itself. So use the lemon oil. It tastes fantastic. Diagize can support your digestive system. It's working any kind of bloat. I did say that I've been dealing with food poisoning this week, which has kind of knocked me for six. Gotta be honest, didn't use Diagize because I hate the smell of it. So I actually used my friend here called Aroma-Ease. To me, I'm not a licorice girl. So if you like licorice, you'll like Diagize. If you don't like licorice, then go for Aroma-Ease when you're feeling sick, because Diagize, no. But Diagize is great for like bloat, gas, anything like that. Or Aroma-Ease when you can't bear smells. Panaway is, I always say to people, if you think of Panaway, think of how it's said Panaway. So it's more like kind of pain away, right? So with trying to be compliant, which I've already broken on this call, it's great for using on sore muscles. We actually have a pain cream out there called Cortisol, and many of the ingredients that are in Panaway are in Cortisol pain cream that has been approved by the FDA. So just look at what the Cortisol pain cream does, and then use Panaway. Peppermint is also fantastic for helping support the digestive system. It's great for cooling, especially on those occasional when the internal body temperature gauge is like going up. Especially Virginia, we're about to get into that high humidity. So peppermint is definitely one that I'm going to be using. If you have horses, I like to do peppermint in a water trough for them, and then use do a water trough full of peppermint. Well, do like 4 or 5 drops of peppermint in like we have like a big, I know, like 15-gallon water trough, and then in the other one just have regular water. You'll see the horses actually will go to the peppermint water because it acts as an internal coolant. I love just having like as a spritzer, we'll spritz it around. And anyone that's dealing with seasonal challenges right now, and do peppermint, lemon, and lavender. Take it internally, instantaneous. It's pretty much amazing. And next one is purification. Purification is a great one for purifying, hence purification. So the name gives it away. I like to use that to help with the skin. It's great if you have any kind of bug bite, putting it on to neutralize the skin. It neutralizes, so it's good for in the diffuser if you've got like smelly dogs. Making like a little purification spray and spritzing them when they come in is far more beneficial to the nose when they especially like to sleep in your bed and you wake up with this dog in your face that's been swimming in the ditch. It isn't pleasant. So purification is that. The next one is Copaiba, and Copaiba is an oil that's exclusive to Young Living. It's one that Gary got for us from Brazil. It's actually pronounced, it's spelled Copaiba, and it's pronounced Copaiba. And Copaiba it comes from like a frankincense tree. They tap the tree for 3 weeks, and it's like a resin that comes out, like a maple, like a maple tree. Think about them tapping a maple tree. It takes 3 weeks, and once the Copaiba, the quality that we need, comes out, that's the oil that you get. Now with Copaiba, it is the best thing that we have to support the body. It helps support with inflammation. I like to take it in a veggie capsule, especially after the days that I've gone running and I'm feeling really, really stiff. Helps support my body with that way. Helps. It's very versatile, and it's also fantastic because it's a magnifier. Excuse me. And by that I mean I can use some of my other oils as well as my Copaiba and get the same result, and it saves me money. So last, let me do 2 more. Stress away. I mean, it speaks for itself. Stress right. Thieves is freaking amazing. Everyone needs thieves. Thieves help support the immune system. Add it to honey for a wellness tea. There isn't really an area with thieves that you don't use. If you haven't you started using the Thieves household cleaner, then I recommend, if that's the one thing you can get this month, get the Thieves household cleaner. They did a comparison of comparing Thieves to Clorox, and after 2 weeks, the Clorox on a Petri dish had more bacteria than what the Thieves did, the Thieves cleaner. So, and it's a good cleaner, and the cleaner makes it up to be like $1 a bottle. There isn't anything that you can get in a supermarket that's $1 a bottle. That's organic. That's going to clean. To get the Thieves cleaner. And if you're in my group, I actually do a money back guarantee because I know that product works amazing. So if you're unsure, send me a message and I'll let you know if you're in my team or not. And I'm more than happy to do a money back guarantee. So guys, it's 9:04. Want to try and keep this to half an hour. And what we just went over tonight is really just the tip of the iceberg. It's just kind of starting out. It's getting your feet wet, getting your toes wet, and it's getting you very, very comfortable with these oils. I am going to do an Essential Oils 102 class. I do believe it's in 2 weeks, but I will send out the dates to let you guys know. I don't have my calendar in front of me. So on that note, I'm going to stop the recording, and if you have any questions, fire away.